For all your t-shirt needs, check out TeePublic's Killer Selection. Follow the link in the description. Hey, what's up, people? Pizzao here, and today I want to talk to you guys about the new Synapse Films Blu-ray release for 1991's Popcorn. Now, this is partially going to be a review of the movie as well as a review of this Blu-ray release. Now, Popcorn is an interesting movie, to say the least. I first rented Popcorn many years ago on VHS, and even though I had no idea at the time of Popcorn's colorful production history, I could clearly tell that it had been a troubled shoot. And Popcorn was a movie that I revisited several times over the years because it seemed to be the kind of movie that I should like more than I actually do. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's kind of a spoof, not just on slasher movies, but on the kind of 50s and 60s William Castle gimmick movies. It stars Jill Schoelen, who's one of my all-time favorite scream queens. I think a very underrated scream queen. And it does have a lot of fun moments. But as a whole, I don't know, I could just never get into it. There was always just something missing there. It just felt way too messy for me. And now I had no idea just how big a cult following Popcorn had until Synapse Films announced that they were releasing the film on Blu-ray. And it just seemed like social media exploded with an outpouring of love and devotion for Popcorn. And that really made me want to go back and revisit the movie. And now, after having watched the movie again on this Blu-ray, I have to say that my feelings for Popcorn really haven't changed. Now, the plot revolves around a group of film students who are hosting this all-night horror movie marathon at this old movie theater. However, a killer, a very theatrical killer, let's just say, shows up and begins picking them off one by one. Now, my major complaint with Popcorn has always been that the movie feels really messy. And most of that is due to the fact that most likely 3 different people had a hand in directing the movie. Now, originally Alan Ormsby was directing the film. He was replaced 3 weeks into photography by Mark Carrier. However, the rumor is that the film's producer, Bob Clark, had a big part in the creative. Bob Clark directed a lot of the movie himself, according to rumor. Let's just call a spade here. So you can understand why a movie would feel a bit uneven with that many cooks in the kitchen. Popcorn is also a really busy movie. There's a lot going on in Popcorn, a little too much going on, as a matter of fact. This isn't just a straightforward slasher movie. There's some paranormal elements thrown in there. You've got Jill Schoelen's character having these psychedelic dreams regarding this crazed avant-garde filmmaker who may be her father, who directed this film called The Possessor, and during the screening of the film, he set the theater on fire and killed a bunch of people, and maybe he's back from the dead. There's just way too much going on in this movie, and the narrative just feels overloaded and jumbled and just, again, messy. Also, and this may just be a qualm on my part, but because Popcorn was shot on location in Jamaica, I've always felt that the movie had this real odd sense of placement. Like, the movie's supposed to take place in California, but it's clearly not California. As if the movie takes place in this, I don't know, weird kind of limbo. And no disrespect to Jamaica or anything to that regard, I've just always felt that the movie lacked this sense of place, and that almost plays into the psychedelic, dreamlike qualities of the movie as well, as if the movie takes place in this odd reality or something. I don't know. Maybe that's just a qualm for me. If you guys have felt the same way about Popcorn because of the setting, because it was shot on location in Jamaica, please let me know in the comment section below. Popcorn benefits from a really good cast. You've got a great ensemble of really solid actors in this movie, led by Jill Schoelen, who, as I've said before, is one of my all-time favorite Scream Queens. I think she's totally underrated as a Scream Queen. I love Jill Schoelen. We've also got really good performances from people like Tony Gardner. Oh gosh, I forget the actor's name. He was the teacher in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, who took the pizza away from Spicoli. The acting all around is really solid. The characters are all pretty likable. The actor who played the killer did an excellent job, I thought. The mini movies, this sort of mock, 50s and 60s William Castle gimmick movies, are all extremely well done. I do believe Alan Ormsby directed all of those. You can kind of get the sense that the actors, while making this movie, were having a really good time on the set, and that shines through, and that adds to the overall likability of Popcorn. For me, Popcorn is a mixed bag. You've got half a bag of really nice, well-salted, well-buttered, fluffy, delicious popcorn, and then the other half of the bag are just those kernels that just didn't quite pop. I think that's the best way that I can sum up my experience with Popcorn. I've seen the movie several times. It's the kind of movie that I reach for every now and again, thinking maybe now is the time I'm going to really just embrace and love this movie. And I keep coming to the same conclusion. It's messy. It's busy. It's overly busy, but it's a very likable movie. I'm right there on the fence when it comes to Popcorn. Synapse Films, as they do for all of their releases, really rolled out the red carpet for Popcorn. This release is a must. If you are a fan of Popcorn, if you are a member of the Popcorn cult, you definitely want to look into picking up the Synapse Films Blu-ray for Popcorn and adding it to your collection. The film sports a brand new 2K scan of a 35mm interpositive vault element. The movie looks absolutely fantastic. The movie sounds absolutely fantastic. So as far as extras are concerned, we get Midnight Madness, the making of Popcorn. It's a brand new making of documentary, 57 minutes and 11 seconds in length. It includes interviews with director Mark Harrier, actors Derek Rydell, Dee Wallace, Jill Schoelen, Yvette Solar, Malcolm Denaire, makeup effects artist Matt Falls, and composer Paul Zaza, among others. Harrier discusses how Bob Clark was originally sought to direct the film, but he didn't want to direct another horror flick, so Clark, who was producing the film, brought on Alan Ormsby. The actors discuss getting cast in the film, bonding prior to shooting, having 2 weeks to rehearse on location in Jamaica before they began shooting. They discuss working with Alan Ormsby and the turmoil that led to him being fired and Amy O'Neill being replaced by Jill Schoelen after 3 weeks of shooting. Jill Schoelen discusses replacing Amy O'Neill and how they had to reshoot the sequences already shot with O'Neill, with her, with the exception of some of the longer shots in the film, which still include Amy O'Neill. They discuss working with Tony Roberts and Ray Walston. I'm sorry, Kay Walston. I can't read my own handwriting. Ray Walston. That was the actor I was referring to. They discuss shooting the film in Jamaica and both the pros and cons of shooting a film in Jamaica, although there seemed to be far more of the latter, shockingly enough. They discuss working with the late Tom Villard. They discuss working with Bob Clark. Harrier discusses Clark being a little overbearing at first on the set, and that Bob Clark had a hand in directing the film. They discuss the film's release and rebirth and its cult status. Very lengthy, very informative making of documentary about Popcorn, nearly 1 hour in length. Anything and everything you could possibly want to know about Popcorn is in this making of. We've got Electric Memories, an interview with Bruce Glover. It's 6 minutes and 38 seconds. Mr. Glover discusses the film within a film sequence that he shot and working with Alan Ormsby. He discusses shooting on location in Jamaica. He discusses how upset he was to see that a lot of what he'd shot had been cut out of the film and how he desperately wanted to bring this up to Bob Clark at the screening of the film, but then later was glad that he did not bring that up to Bob Clark at the screening, and had some really nice things to say about the late, great Bob Clark. Very nice interview with Mr. Glover. We get a still gallery, we get the original theatrical trailer, we get the TV trailer, and we get television spots. We also get an audio commentary with Jill Sholin, Mark Harrier, Malcolm Denaire, and Matt Falls, moderated by Christy Jett. I listened to about 25 minutes to half an hour of the audio commentary while watching the movie. It was pretty entertaining. They all talked about, working on location in Jamaica. They talk about the theater where they shot the movie when they first got there. It had clearly been used by a lot of homeless people because it was in a serious state of disrepair and didn't smell very good. We'll just leave it at that. But very entertaining, really fun commentary, at least for the 25 to 30 minutes of it that I listened to with the movie. This is a very nice release from the fine folks over at Synapse Films for popcorn. If you are a fan of popcorn, go pick this up and add it to your collection if you haven't already, which you probably already have. If you've not seen popcorn, again, I'm really on the fence about it. It has its ups, it has its downs. I will say it is a fun early 90s slasher movie, and this Blu-ray is loaded with extras, and the picture quality and sound quality are both superb. I'll put a link to Synapse Films' website. Go over and check them out. If you've seen popcorn, please let me know your thoughts on it, good, bad, or indifferent, down in the comments section below. If you like this video, please leave it a thumbs up. If you're not following me on social media, those links are in the description. They're also right around here. As always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Take care, and until next time, peace. Join the $1 a month club and help support my channel on Patreon. Thank you to my current patrons, Turi Delamore, Farron Sutton, and Jeremiah Lambert. Say hello to the internet, Jeremy.
Hello to the internet.